Hello followers and welcome back to MrMFretwell Plays Minecraft, and we're here today in the storage room and we're going to start work on it today. But before we go ahead and do that, there's a couple of things I do want to mention. First off, if I sound a bit sniffly today, it's because it's become hay fever season and my allergies are probably getting a little bit of the better of me, so I am kind of a little bit sniffly, so I apologize for that. Okay, so with that said, we can actually start work on today's episode, and we're going to work on the storage room here today. So, the storage room is a big ongoing project. We won't finish it today, we will just simply start it today. And what we're going to do here is we're first going to kind of sort out the roof and the walls that we've already dug, and then we're going to dig down. Now, I'll probably do most of the digging down off camera, as it's pretty boring to watch, and I wouldn't put you through that. So, we're going to start work on that today. But while we start here, we're going to talk a little bit about what the storage room actually is. It has a name, and what its purpose is going to be. So, I'm going to pick up some of this, and I do have more clay upstairs if I need it, which I almost certainly will. But we're going to start work here, just doing the very basics for right now. And the reason I want to do the walls and ceiling now is that when I dig down, it will be a lot harder to do. So let's try and minimize the hard work we have to do by, you know, going up and down on dirt pillars by just doing it before I take out the floor. So the first thing we need to do is actually measure how wide these are. So I assume I started over here, possibly. So 1, and that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. What's happened here? Let me count properly here. 5, that would be 10, that's 15, that's 20, 25, and 30. So this is 30 in this direction, which is good to know. So it's an even number. That's interesting. How can it be even though? Because it looks odd to me. That's interesting. This is a bit smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I assume it's probably 15 on this side. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. Okay, so this side is slightly wider than this one. So we're gonna tear this out. I think I had this issue before. I'm just gonna turn my game sounds up a little bit, I think. It seems a bit low. There we go. May have not changed at all in the video, but it just seems louder to me. I do want this storage room to be an odd number. It's far easier to work with than even numbers. And if I start work now and I get it wrong, it's going to be a lot harder to do anything with it later. So we need to make sure that this is right now. I'm going to do a similar torch thing again. So that would be 5, 10, and that would be 14. And we'll do the same thing here. 5, 10. What is that? 5, 10, 15, 16. I counted 15 before. 5, 10, 15, 16. And this side is 5, 10. That's 14 now. So I might have to widen this significantly to make it even. We're going to need to remove 2 of these for sure. At least, in order to make it even. And I'll explain why this is in a little while. So, while we're doing this, we can actually talk a little bit about what the storage room is. So the storage room has a nickname that I've given it called Tier, and Tier means Tiered Item Archive. And there's going to be multiple floors in this room, and each floor has a different set of items. So the first floor will be blocks, the second floor will be useful items, the third floor will be uncommon items, and the fourth floor will probably be bulk, which is kind of like the excess cobble and stuff that I have that I want to keep on to in case we ever need it for anything. So behind each of where the storage areas are, there's going to be a huge network of redstone and hoppers and stuff like that. and what they do is transport my items from all around the base here, so farms and stuff, directly into this room. So for example, up here are where the farm stacks are, and we have just a chest that we collect the items from right now, but the long-term aim with that will be to bring the carrots, potatoes, and nether wart straight into the chests in here, so we don't have to do any item transportation. That's kind of the big objective here. That's 17 now, isn't it, really? 5, 10, 15, 16, that's 17. And over here we've got 5, 10, 5, 10, what is that then, 14? This is confusing. I'm not sure what's going on here, to be quite honest. I'm getting different measurements each time I do it. So we've got 5. That's only 3, so that's 5. That's 10. Because we've got 4 in between. 10, 11, 12, that's 13 now. So I've just dug this out for no reason. So, let's try this again here. So this, that is 5. That is 10. That is 15. That is 16. So, what is this? Again, 5, 10. This is 13. So we need to cover up 2 rows then. And this should make it 13. So we've got 5, 10. That's 15. Now that's not 5, is it? Up to here is 5, 10. That's 15 again. I'm not sure, guys, to be quite honest. I'm getting really confused with this. We've got 5, 10, 13, and I've got 4 torches on the wall. I only have 4 torches over here. So that's 5, that's 10, and that's 15. 5, 10, yeah, 15. This is 5, 10, 13. Okay, so that, I think. If the torch pattern is equal, then I can work it out from that. And it looks it, yeah. I think that's even. I really do. But I could not be sure. I honestly don't know. I have a feeling that this is going to come back and cause me trouble later. So, this system is going to be very useful for a number of reasons. It saves me having to run around and put stuff away all the time. Of course, there will be some stuff that I will just have to naturally put away, but it's also going to hook up with the branch mines. It's going to hook up with all the farms I have around the world here, and the future farms that I have planned. So it's going to be very useful. That's the kind of the idea behind the build, is to make it useful as possible, and it's not going to be too resource intensive either to build. So now that we've got this situation figured out at last, we can actually start and put the clay in. So we're going to start by marking out our wall there, and the wall on this side is going to be where the torches are, so we're going to have to tear that down. I don't have a whole lot of clay left to work with either. So what I'm going to do for right now is I'm just going to create a ring until I can go and pick up some more clay. Because I'm going to need a lot more of it, that's for sure. There we go. And we'll do the same thing over here. Try and make conservative use of it. Ooh, I'm not sure why I broke that. There we go. And we'll go to this corner. And now we do have to do some more measurements again on this side to make sure that this side is also even. Well, the same amount of numbers, should I say, rather than even. So that would be 5 from the start, so that's 5, that's 10, and that is 15. So there is 15 blocks here. We've got 5, 10, 15. And on this side we have 5, 10, and we add another 4, 15. So that is even. Now, did I say that this was the same number as this? Because it does need to be square-ish. So we've got 5, 10, only 13. I would actually like to make this 15 by 15, I think. I think it might look a lot better if I made it a bit wider, honestly. So I'm going to add 1 block either side, I think, will do it. Oh no, it's 2 blocks either side, isn't it? Because I want it to be 15, and currently we've got 5, 10, 13, that would be 14. So this right here would be 15, and the clay needs to go there. Math, always fun. So yeah, this is what I need to do now, and I'm going to put clay all throughout the walls here, and then we need to work on the ceiling. I'm going to get some redstone lamps as well, so that we can have a nice well-lit ceiling. We're going to continue with the modern theme that we have been doing for some time in the base, so we're definitely going to focus on that. And this side is also going to have 2 taken off it to make it 15 on this side, so we need to take off those 2 and then put the clay there, and that will give me 15 on this side. So the room as a whole is going to be 33 by 33 because we have the 3 where the corridors are right now. Though this may change a little bit because the actual corridors are going to go behind and in, although there will be a glass walkway at this height. So the doors will still be there, but the actual entrance to the first floor is going to be a bit lower than this, if that makes sense. So now what I really need to do is actually get all of the clay done and put in the ceiling. So I think I'm going to work on that, and then I'll be back, guys. Okay guys, so I've been working on this room for quite a while now, and I'm actually out of hardened clay, so I'm going to have to head back to the mesa and pick some more up. I had a feeling I was going to run out because I was pretty low to begin with, so that's going to be on my agenda. What I'm currently doing is just finishing up the roof. I've got a pattern in for the lamps. Not sure why this one is powered, but it is. I've not put a lever there. There must be something above it, I guess, that is giving it power, but I'm not going to rely on that. It may go off as part of the farm system I have, so I'm going to find an alternative way of powering that lamp along with powering the rest of them. So aside from that, before I head out to the mesa though, because my cave spider trap is out there, I'm actually going to do some digging once this clay is gone, and I guess we'll just have to do a little bit of dirt pillaring for a little while for this last part. Now, as you can see, there's a couple of problems. We have these 3 stone bricks. I can eliminate these really easily. Some redstone sits atop it, but I could just replace that with the cyan stained clay and put redstone on top of that. We've got to be careful though with how this lamp gets powered because redstone dust is on top of there. So I'm going to have to come up with a system that enables it just to power this, but not that. And I think we should be okay if I just put some redstone dust here and a lever there, and we should be fine. Same thing over here. We do have a chest here. Now, I can't really see through it, but I assume that there's a hopper above that into this chest. I think that's how it works. So what we're going to do is replace this chest with some hoppers eventually, get them to the back of the room, and then down the back of the storage system. Because I can't put a hopper below it as it would break into my roof system. It's really close, but it is definitely doable as far as moving things around is concerned. So I may contemplate adding some more redstone lamps and make it into a grid. That is definitely something I might do to give the whole room a bright feel, or I may just have emphasis on the pathway, which I think I might like as well. As far as the pathway is concerned, we're going to be using white stained glass up here for that. I've got plenty of this still left over. And for the staircases down to the first floor, we're going to have these probably back here somewhere. And then they go down the back here, and then you come out in this little corner, and there will be another one here for this side, and so on and so forth. So we're going to have lots of entrances, and once that's done, which is probably going to be the next thing you'll see, I'll have probably wrapped up the roof a little bit, dug this, and done a couple of other things. Then we will be ready to start work on the actual storage room design and what I have in mind for that. So there's quite a load of work still to do, but there is significant progress being made. So I'll get back to you once I've got some more hardened clay and wrapped up the roof, and I'm also going to do the digging as well. So then we'll be able to continue on. So I will be once again back in a bit. Okay guys, so after significant hard work, sweat and tears, we are now making some real progress in this room. So as you can see, I've completely dug out where I want the first floor to be. The cactus farm is kind of still lingering right now, but we'll fix that soon enough. I'm probably going to tear that down when I no longer need it, or I relocate it. I got all the lamps working. The roof is still not done yet. I had to take a trip to the mesa, as I said, and I'm cooking up some cactus green right now so that we can actually work on finishing the roof. But we're not going to do that on camera, as that's pretty tedious up and down kind of stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to start work on the actual design for this room. But before we do that, let's take a little bit of a tour. So this is the 3x3 door we've had for a long time, and we have a glass walkway, and we can come down here. These are going to be our staircases which bring us down to the lower floor. Now, to get down to the second floor, there is going to be a hole right under here. I guess we could mark it right now on either side that we can go to and go back through, should I say, and that will take us down another set of stairs into the third floor. But that's what I'm going for, at least. So it kind of goes down there and into there. This one goes down and then sort of down like that either side and brings you out on the floor below. So it's sort of all going to fall into place. If you're not sure what I mean, then in a couple of episodes time I think you'll see. So now let's start work then on what I want this to look like. Now before we start putting it into the wall, what I would like to do is actually get started with a layout, and I already have a bit of an idea of a layout of what I want to do with this room. But let's make some trap chests. Now what do you need for those? I know you need tripwire hooks, but you need wood for that if I recall correctly. Oh hey, I'll take those. So this is all the cobble I got just through mining this room, by the way. We're going to be able to build the gold farm soon, that's for sure. So let's get some wood. I believe it's planks and sticks. I don't make these often, so you'll have to forgive me if my knowledge is a bit waned on these. So how many do I need? I really want 24, I would say. And this is why I needed the iron golem farm. So we're going to make some trap chests. Does it work anyway, or does it have to be on the... It has to be on the right or the left, I see. So trap chests, we'll make 25 of those. We are going to have a spare chest, but that's fine. So let's hop down here, and let's start work. So I want to do this, and then this, then... Whoops. I'm going to need my axe here. What was that one? A normal chest, then a trap chest, then a normal chest. And we're going to have sort of like a set of 5, if that makes sense. Like this, and then we can't open them right now, obviously, because I'm going to put dirt. That's where the item frames are going to go for this bit. We're going to cap the edge around it, like this, and then I want to have a second row of storage, which kind of goes up a little bit like that, basically. I don't have a whole lot of dirt left. Let me use cobble to pillar up for right now. I guess I could have used the clay to build this, because I'm now out of dirt. We'll just use some hardened clay here. So something a little bit like that, and then we'll have our second row tucked in here. And this is why it's going to be 7 high. This is why we dug the room 7 high. We've got 3. That would be 6. And then the roof on top of that, which will be where the second set of item frames go, would be 7. So we're going to go with something a little bit like that. Let's take this down. And we'll break these. I'm going to need to do a lot of tree chopping, which is why I have dark oak saplings, and I've got some bone meal in a chest. Being as we've got this nice big room, we can do a lot of tree chopping of dark oak in here, and we don't have to worry about monsters. So that's what I'm going to be doing off camera for quite a while, I guess. So I wanted to build this out of red stained clay. And how much room have we got here? We've got between this glass bridge. Although I guess the glass bridge wouldn't matter. Well, I guess it kind of does, because this is 7 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. I don't want to start there, so let's take that away and take that away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 9 blocks to work with. So this is going to be inset, but I'm just building up a frame right now. Let's put that there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the 5 chests would sit in the middle there. I could go with 7 if I really wanted to and make it large. I actually think that that may be a better idea for this wall. Or all 4 of these walls, actually, because all 4 are the same. That may be a better way to go with that. And then we'd kind of have a little bit of red clay like this. Though that said, I did want to do sort of some item sorting, and 7 double chests would then kind of throw that out. And I couldn't split it down the middle, as that would only give me 3. The idea was to kind of have like a chest for cobble stairs, cobble slabs, cobble walls, and that kind of thing. But I mean, we could probably pair them up a little bit, and it wouldn't be too much of an issue. So I think we might end up rolling with that for now. So let's do a little bit of work here. Tear this down and start and put this design together and see what it looks like actually embedded in a wall. So we're going to go up to here. This is as far as we're going to go. I may even put some quartz in there or something like that to kind of break the room up a little bit. Under here I may have an ender chest, something like that. Or I could leave space for them elsewhere. Because one thing we have to think about is crafting. We've got to think about that. Smelting and brewing I might have in the middle of the room. And also ender chests. That's really important. And also, actually, thinking about it, anvils. We need to think about those. Because in case we want to do any repairs, that kind of thing, this room is going to be central to basically our entire base. So we want to have a place for anvils as well. All in this little area. Do I have my other pickaxes on me? I do. Of course, it has to hit a gravel vein, which is a bit of a pain. So, unlike the other storage system designs that we've done, for example, at the cave spider spawner and places like that, we're not going to do it inset. We're going to do it straight up, if that makes sense. So, let's get our chests. And this chest here as well. And then we'll put in some trap chests. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think I have much, if any, leather. So, we're going to have to set up a cow farm in order to produce lots and lots of item frames. But that's something I can add over time. Oops. Now I've got to break this chest to get back in there. Thankfully, they're all trap chests, though. Okay, yeah. There's going to be stairs above these. We're going to use quartz stairs for that. I might have to run and get some nether quartz here shortly. But before we do that, I would like to break this open for one. And I kind of need to do the back bit of this. Ooh, the piston here. I wonder what that goes to. I guess that must be the door, perhaps. That might be the lower part of the door. So I'm going to have to be mindful of any redstone here. I don't want to go quite there yet. I want to dig all of this out as well. We want a nice red background, if we can. And I know there's coal there, but oh well. So how are we looking now? Get rid of that. Not too bad, not too bad. We're going to need to add, obviously, the quartz stairs. And I'm probably going to put some quartz slabs on the back of that, just so that you don't see anything beyond there. And then, that will be that part complete. Now, I do want to get a crafting bench and kind of work on adding the upper floor as well. We've got enough chests, I think, to do at least one row. Do I have any quartz down here? I don't think I do. I have a little bit. Not enough to make any stairs with, though. I do have some quartz left over in the zombie grinder that I never cleared away. I wanted the crafting bench. I don't know why I went looking through all those chests for stuff. So let me see how much quartz I've got down here as well. It's on the way to the zombie grinder. It's down here. Got automatic doors everywhere now, so it's a bit of a noisemaker. Down we go. This is is where the slimes are. We'll go through here. Where did I leave it? In this chest up here? Oop, I want a sword. Some food down here. Some quartz there, a plank. Some other random junk. That'll do for right now. It'll probably give me enough to make enough stairs out of. There we go. So what have I got here? 5, and I've got 5 in the box, so that's going to give me a total of 10, allowing me to make some stairs, and I also picked 3 up. So, let's get that down. I actually probably should have ran back over here to pick quartz up. Eventually, I won't have to go running all around everywhere just to try and get stuff, because it's all going to be in this room. Was it in here? Yeah. Don't I actually have any quartz left over? I have a little bit. So what's that? Give me 7. Gives me enough for 1 more block. I'm going to have to go on a quartz run again, I think, as well, to get enough quartz for this. I don't want to use quartz everywhere because it's really expensive. So I'm trying to limit my use of quartz. And we'll make some slabs. That's actually the perfect amount of stairs, but not slabs. Which is a bit of a pain, but oh well, what can you do? Oh, inventory's all clogged up full of junk. So let's put the stairs on the back. Oh. Like so. And then what will happen is we'll have slabs on here. We're going to put some torches back here, but eventually we'll have to probably fill that in. There we go. So that's what that would look like. Obviously it would have item frames on it. I don't know if it looks a bit too bulky like that or not. Really. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure on that, really, whether it looks too bulky or not. It may look better once I've added the top part, which is what we're going to work on now. And get some red clay here. I've got all sorts of junk that I don't really want, but I'll hold on to it for now. And let me get some dirt. So, how do we want to do this part? I kind of... Whoop. 1, 2, 3. It was meant to be 4. Uh-oh. Have I not dug this enough? Because the 2 chests were meant to be there, and it was meant to be capped off, if I recall, from the design I worked on. These were meant to be lamps here. I remember that. And there's going to be chests inside there. But that's going to look a little odd if there's just random stairs right there. Unless I wanted to cap it off with cyan. Let me just double check my design real quick to make sure that I've got this all right. Okay, so not quite. I had the basic shape right, but it needs to be, for one, moved back, and also the chests on the bottom floor need to be lower. So we're definitely going to do that now and see how it looks with the actual design I had in mind here. So if I want to go 2 back in the wall, then the actual build itself is going to start here. And this is just so the top bit actually syncs up with that cyan clay. It's the whole purpose of that. So this is going to be where the chests go. And we want to make this 3 high. Do that, I guess. I'm going to save on clay because it just means less trips to that mesa biome. And I don't really fancy doing too much of that. So we're going to save where we can. Oh, more gravel. You know, I'm just going to get rid of the whole vein. I'll fill it in later. It just keeps getting in the way. There we go. Okay, so now we want to clear this out a little bit. In preparation for adding the remaining parts of the floor and the back. Can't pick any of this stuff up because my inventory is just full of crud and I don't have a chest nearby. So we'll do that and get rid of this gravel. Put that there and that there. Put this up the back. I'm then gonna get myself some slabs. And I'm going to put the stairs in. I dropped a stair there by mistake. There we go. And that looks to be all of that part done. Now we want to get our actual chest down. And I guess we'll get both sets. Oh, I need to do this too. So, oop. And there we go. Got that all worked out. Okay, so now we want to do chest, trap chest, chest, and so on. There we go. Just like that. So now we've got the basic shape here for the bottom bit. Now we want to up it a little bit and break this out. That piston could be an issue. I didn't really think of that. What is around that piston? What is that for? Oh, it's for the... it's not part of the actual door. That's the detector that gives it a one-tick pulse. That's the circuit breaker part. So the idea here is that we go up 4 and then we hit the cyan. Just hope I'm not going to break any redstone doing this. There we go. And we're going to put a row of red clay in there, and then the next row of chests sit in that gap. That piston is going to be in the way, unfortunately. Let me get some gravel and get up there. Well, that didn't work. Must be a block in the way. There we go. Let's mine all of this out a little bit. We can get rid of that one. We just can't get rid of that. And now we want more of the clay. This is where the stairs and such are going to be, though. And that's going to be the slabs. Yeah, that piston's going to have to get moved for sure. And I guess do that as well. Yeah, this is going to be a bit tricky to get in here. This, though, can be moved. I can move this a little bit. Not much, but I can move it a bit. So, I'm not too worried about that. Oop. Sure, give me the dirt. So the idea is going to be to go like that, but we're going to have an issue there with this piston. And the chests are going to sit in much the same manner. No axe. Hate when my inventory gets this full. You just can't operate. Well, at least I can't. Some people might be able to, but I'm not one of them. Let's get rid of some stuff here. Trap chests and stuff. And now I've got to put up the spider racket. This whole thing is going to be very hard to put together, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. Especially if I keep dropping items the way I am doing. There we go. Give me that one back. So I'm going to need a couple more chests. I'm going to have to move that piston as well. This I'm going to fill back in because I don't need that open. Up to there. And we're going to have some redstone lamps here and here. And that's going to keep it nice and bright. We'll probably finish it off with some quartz. And we could even now begin to explore where we want to put workbenches and stuff like that. So I'm thinking the ender chests should probably go in here. We'll have a little spot for that. Maybe inset, actually. Maybe we'll do something a bit like that. I don't think it needs to be on a podium, really. I think that would look just fine. Or what would it look like on a podium? Sort of raise it up a little bit so that it actually sits sort of up off the floor. I'll have to try it. I mean, it's hard to tell right now. Workbenches could sit in either corner. We could have them in the wall. We could have a workbench and an anvil either side. I think that might be useful. We could have a workbench in the middle. We could have a workbench, furnace, anvil. That would work. Although you don't need to smelt too much, and I definitely want the brewing in the middle for sure. I think I like the idea of having the workbench and the anvil in the floor. I don't have an anvil on me right now, but I think it would make it look neat. Now, in addition to that, we're also going to have in here some coal blocks. And these coal blocks are going to sort of line the edge. And then we're going to have some stained glass, and then the actual floor, which is going to be a bit lower. So there's quite a bit to this. There's a very specific pattern that I really want to create here. As for this is going to probably be more... I don't know whether it's going to be red or whether it's going to be cyan or whether I want to go with a different color of clay. Specifically, this bit here I think I'm going to make quartz. Just regular quartz blocks for the modern feel. I don't want to go Roman on it, so to speak, and bring in pillars and chiseled and all the rest of it. So I definitely want to sort of probably build a wall, so to speak, really, of what this would look like, and then probably once that's done, we'll actually assess what it looks like and probably wrap up the episode from there, I think. So I'm gonna have to run and get some supplies such as anvils and more crafting benches and that sort of stuff. I also want to wrap up the ceiling here too, as that's a bit of a mess still. And then I think we will have made significant progress today. I'm really happy with the way this has turned out. Oh, and if you're wondering if that looks ugly, I can actually do that and it just goes away. It does cost me a little bit though in the frame rate department. I'm down to 100 and... well, about 100 actually. We're sort of 98, 99, 96. Sort of in the hundreds department. So I'm probably going to just stick with that for right now because there's going to be item frames on this, so I'm not so worried about how it looks, but it is fixable if it really bugs me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sort of wrap this up. I'm going to have to move that piston and so forth, and once that's done I will be back and we'll see what it looks like on one of these walls. Okay guys, so here we go, we've got one half done. I did say in the last clip I was going to do this half as well, but I'm going to need a lot more supplies to do that, mainly wood and stuff like that. And I still haven't tackled the ceiling yet, but I will do that off camera. Looks like my redstone lamp disappeared for some reason. I'm not really sure why that is. I must have broke it by mistake, possibly. I don't remember breaking it. It's a bit odd. The lever gone as well? Very odd indeed. Wait a minute, is there water above that? I might have been... well, a block can't get washed away. I'm not sure what happened with that, honestly. But, it's there now. So, we still haven't tried the ender chest yet. Let's go pick up an ender chest and see what that looks like. I have one conveniently provided right here. Do I have my silk touch pick with me? Yeah, I do. It's right there. There we go. Pick up that ender chest. And we'll get that on the bar. And we can head back downstairs again. Put it there. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I could probably make it look better though by doing that. No. No, it looked better the way it was before. I kind of don't want it just flat to the ground. I think it should be on a little pedestal. And I think that that might be the best look for it. Especially if I put this cyan clay on this side as well. I've got it all cleaned up around where the door is. I did figure out how to move that piston safely without breaking the door. As you can see, it's... I think the piston is still visible there, but just barely. It looks like there is some other visible stuff there. What is that that's visible? Did I not fill it in properly? No, I did not. Look at that. And I hear skeletons too. I guess we can take a look up here. The piston is right there. It's really hard to see, but I have to have it there just because that's about the only spot I can get it. I think I filled the rest of it in. It's just that one slot right there that I didn't. Oop. So let's get that filled in again. We do want to have chests there. And let me get that in like that. And let's get our chests back out. I don't want the chests to face that way. I do want them all to face the right way. And you probably can't tell, but still, it gives me satisfaction knowing that it is the right way. Or is it just not letting me do it that way? Is it just a, whoops, a thing where it won't let me? I guess it won't let me, huh? Oh well, I guess you can't really tell from down here, honestly. It's not a big deal. So, as you can see, we've got this now sort of fully finished as a proper panel. Still looks like there's some exposed stuff there, but I think it's actually the chest latch, I guess is what you would call that. What it actually is up there. So this is what we're going to go for. It's still a bit dingy yet. It needs some prettying up. I think we're going to get some funky with some stained glass. It looks very plain. So I think that at least the cyan bit needs some sprucing up. As does the ceiling. It looks very bland, but I think pretty soon we'll have a solution for that. And the idea is to have one of these here, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. So what will that give us? That will give us 7, 14. So for each one of these you get 14. That would be 28 on this wall alone. Wow, that's a lot of storage even for just this floor. I mean, we're looking at, you know, 14 double chests per area. There's 28 double chests right there, really condensed in. Now, for lower parts, there's going to be redstone, which we're going to have to figure out to make this work. I'm glad that there's going to be no redstone here. I'm going to make it where these items are probably going to be less useful. All of this on this floor is going to be blocks. There's all manner of blocks on this floor. These ones up here I'm probably not going to use as much as these ones right here, just in case I decide I want to automate something later. For example, putting cobblestone in a chest, that kind of thing, that I'm not interfering with the doors. It would be easier to have it down here. So this right here is probably going to be cobble. This is probably going to be something I use a bit less often. For example, what would be a good example for that of stuff I don't use very often? Probably, I don't know, because I've used a lot of blocks quite frequently. Stuff like, well, no, not actually wood. Wood needs to be near the tree farm, so that'll probably be on this wall. I'm thinking, what have I got up here? In this box. Maybe wool, possibly. Gravel. I don't use gravel very often. And dirt, possibly. I might have that stuff up there, because I don't use that very often. Stuff like podzol and grass. That sort of stuff can go up there, because I barely ever use that, so it would make more sense to have it up there. Mycelium, we can put up there too. So less useful things on that sort of tier, more useful things here. The item frames are obviously going to go on the quartz, as we've discussed. I don't own any leather right now, so I'm going to have to get my cow farm going again, which is probably going to be useful anyway, as it gives me steaks that I can use for food. A bit better than the baked potatoes we're using right now, and is a bit of a stopgap until we work on the gold farm. So next episode, I will probably show you the progress we've made on this. And we may do a little bit more work in here, or we may go do something else. I do have the cobblestone now that I need for the gold farm, but I'm still missing snow. We need snow for the gold farm, so we might set up a snow golem farm down that way, possibly. That is something we could definitely look into doing. Beyond that, I've also got a project planned that needs snow, the ice farm, so we may look into kind of doing those two farms before doing the gold farm. I'm not really putting the gold farm off, but it's still a bit too soon after working on the iron farm. So I'm probably going to leave it for a little bit. We may do 2 or 3 more building episodes, possibly some more in here, the snow golem farm, the ice farm, and maybe a challenge video as well if I get an idea for that. We may do one of those before pressing on with the gold farm. And the dark room is substantially easier than the gold farm. It's the same type of build, but you don't have to do it where gas can spawn. And the gold farm is a bit of a build that it's a bit of a pain, so I might be just a tinsy bit putting it off. I'm not sure. But I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. I really like this theme. I hope you do too. If you have any feedback on what to do with this, if there's any designs or anything that you would think would look cool, then let me know. I'm thinking of doing some sort of lines of stained glass, possibly grey stained glass, that kind of thing. So let me know what you would suggest, if there is anything that you would like to see. And also the ceiling. It's always great to hear feedback on this kind of thing, as it's very experimental. But I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. So until then, guys, see you later, and have a good day.